Alright, and we are back with more commentary, this time completely different map, two completely different races, one Imperial Guard with the Inquisitioner, the other the Plague Champion Chaos Space Marines. Plague Champion seems to be the hero that everyone defaults to, there's not really much you can do, and as you can see, some pretty white and red color scheme there. And how are these guys doing? What are they? They are black and gold. Or, as the rap song would have us believe, black and yellow. Look at them. Look at them 39ers. Oh, yeah. Anyways, capping points, going straight for the power, producing Imperial Guards, Chaos Space Marine to supplement the Heretics. Pretty standard build, and then going for a Sentinel third. Some people go for the Sentinel first, but yet again, the Inquisitioner is very rarely used. She's seen as sort of like the weaker hero out of all the Imperial Guard offerings, as far as I understand it. I myself,
fulfill your command.
I am personally trying to play Imperial Guard these days, trying to learn how to play them anyways, so we'll see how that goes. And there's the Chaos Space Marines. That Sentinel would be better off actually running into melee range and stomping before running back from those Space Marines, but... And now they see they are severely outmatched and are retreating. So yeah, there's a Sentinel, and then here's some Heretics coming in. I think they're going to go for those Imperial Guardsmen up there.
Obey you.
Oh, yeah. That Sentinel is going to hose those guys if that ever happens. Right now, though, it looks like the Chaos Space Marines are inside of the tower, and he upgraded to Flamers on his Guardsman Infantry. Very rare upgrade, I would say. It's not frequent that you see that. Another Heretic squad getting upgraded with their Aspiring Champion. These Heretics running away after decapping that point. Or no, they're not running away at all. They're running into the thick of combat. And there we are. The Plague Champion is right there. Yeah, there he is. Plague Champion is fighting the Inquisitor, not the Inquisitioner, the Inquisitor, haha. A crazy witch-hatted type woman, and oh god, those Heretics got screwed. Sentinel Stomp is very strong right now. They're probably going to end up rebalancing it, and to be honest, if they do, I will not blame them. Sentinel's very strong. Especially for their cost. That stomp ability is just phenomenal. Flamer Guardsmen, not really that great, to be honest with you. The Flamer does not bring them on par with the rest of the Tier 1 units, and you're usually better off getting the Commander so you have more of them, rather than upgrading their weapons. They're not really that great of a Tier 1 unit at all, but they're balanced out by the awesomeness of the Sentinel. And they actually have a very good synergy because they can repair the Sentinel.
The digestive juices of Nurgle himself shall be your... You are losing us a victory point.
The digestive juices of Nurgle himself. Yes. So there we see it, the Sergeant being upgraded for this squad, and for this squad the Sergeant's already in place, as you can see.
Obey you.
9 members. He's setting up the heavy weapons squad. It is quite the ridiculous looking thing compared to other heavy weapons squads. It literally looks like just hauls it around on his back, but it literally looks like a medieval like arbalest or something, or like a very large like crossbow or something. I don't know. It's kind of funny looking though. Have to say, it's old school, kind of fits their theme, you know, where they're like a mix of like modern and old. With the Inquisitor and such. Inquisitor capping that victory point. Right now, the Chaos is winning the victory point race. They are behind on power. And the requisition points, I think, are quite even. Yeah. Literally even, basically.
The enemy attacks one of your structures.
He's calling in a squad of Havocs to deal with, probably the Sentinel here. And loads of combat going on here. The Plague Champion almost dead. Let's see if the Inquisitor can chase him down. No, gives up chase and goes instead for those Chaos Space Marines. The Chaos player is losing a lot of units here, I have to say. Those Flamers do their area damage very well when the enemy is forced into such a tight choke. I think that was a bad choice of positioning for a fight. The good thing about the Flamers, though, is they are very good for gen bashing, so very useful for gen bashing. And here's the heavy weapon squad set up in place. So they get cover and they can suppress incoming units. They're going to have to flee now, though. I don't think they're... Yep. They will not be able to stand up to that Bile Thrower, which is now on there. Spewer and Mucus Discharge, which heals the Plague Marine Champion and nearby allies. Oh, these guys are almost dead. Are they going to die? 1 HP. Yes, they go down, losing his heretics. Oh, no. And there's the Havocs. His nice little machine gun squad, heavy weapons and such.
Obey you.
The Imperial Guard is going tier 2, which they need to do. The Imperial Guard start out with a very strong tier 1, but taper off towards the end of the game. So it's very important for them to achieve tier 1 dominance. However, I can't say that they have.
Your units fulfill your command.
They're very far behind on command points. They're not really playing the capture game. They just got gen bashed by that Bile Spewer, which is, without a doubt, the best weapon in the game for doing gen harass. You can't really argue against it. These guys are set up very nicely here to prevent anything from coming in from spawn. His only option is to hook around the side. Yeah. And there we go. Unset up heavy weapons, and once they set up, they're going to get stomped by that. It's also very good to prevent units from running and get the final kill on them. It's a very powerful ability, as I've said multiple times. And oh wow, he lost his power, but he had enough to go tier 2, so he's not in such a bad position. Could be far worse. Drops a Bane.
Our Plague Champion has reached level 2.
Not sure what the point of that is, but and there's the Plague Champion. It's not really that great against units, as I said, but it's very good against gen harass and such. So, the heretics just raping these Imperial Guardsmen, for lack of a better term. Now upgraded with the plasma gun. He lost that other squad. I happen to have missed that, I'm sorry. And the Bane Wolf going in for some gen harass of its own. It is good for that, I will say, with that Spewer. Very nice for gen harass. And what have we here? The Sentinel giving chase to the Plague Champion, with the Inquisitor right on his tail. But Red is very, very far behind as far as capturing points. You guys didn't see this, but there's a very large level gap. The Chaos player is 60, and the Imperial Guard player, Nekocool, is like 20-something. But he does have a Japan tag, so I don't know. And oh, that Bane Wolf might have been better than I remember it. Doing quite a good job harassing. Took care of the gen farm over here, but is now being stopped by the Blood Crusher. Blood Crusher, very good melee unit. It's more hero-like because there's only one model, so it's pretty difficult to kill, and has several good abilities, and does good damage as well. Overall, goodbye. And yeah, these Imperial Guardsmen are getting hosed, but unlike everything else in the game, with Imperial Guardsmen, it is okay to lose models. The best playstyle you adopt is actually involves losing models, and as you can see, this Blood Crusher just pushes into the base with impunity, getting fired upon by the base turrets, and
we have the advantage.
And the heavy weapon squad, which has now been upgraded with the last cannon, and is now forced to push back. Blood Crushers do have vehicle armor, so they're pretty powerful in that sense. rather unorthodox units compared to others. I think he just realized that he needs power and put down his gen farm again. Bodhisattva falling into that same trap where he is not using his power. And there we have the Chaos Heretics healing up.
Your forces obey you.
And yeah, the Bane Wolf getting hit a little more. And yeah, I figure what'll happen here is the Chaos Heretics will heal this Blood Crusher back up.
Who arises from these ranks?
And the Bane Wolf and the Inquisitor are pushing forward. Heavy Weapons Squad just sort of chilling. Still carrying a machine gun on their backs. That guy must have pulled the short straw. Kinda sucks to be him. And the Sentinel is still alive, low hit points. And what are the guardsmen doing? Oh, they're just back here, probably just captured that wreck point. And oh god, run away. Oh, run, run, run. You are not going to do anything to a Blood Crusher. They are very cheap to reinforce, but as I said, they are not as powerful as other tier 1 units, so especially their equivalents, so they're not terribly great to mass, but they are pretty decent, so you know, you do with what you have. There it is, the Heavy Weapon Squad pushing, and oh, Blood Crusher is down, and here comes the Manticore. Spawned recently at base. Small map, launched missiles to disrupt the capture. Good play there. Manticore, always a good choice. Argued to be very imbalanced. And probably is. I figure this thing is going to get balanced in some way or other because there's really not enough of a warning as to when those missiles are coming down. The Plague Champion also down.
Points remaining.
This game's just... This game is kind of silly. It's been honestly going just back and forth between these two players. At any point in time, there hasn't been a particularly clear winner. However, right now, I will go so far as to say that
losing us a victory point.
Bodhisattva is in a very bad place. He is doing very well on the capture points, 493 to 199. So he might win just by capturing. But in general, I say he's in a bad place. Mark of Corn, very nice. Chain axes and plasma pistols, always a good upgrade for the Chaos Space Marines. And what do the Havocs have? The Mark of Zench. Powerful last cannons. I think they're going to be trying to pick off the Bane Wolf with that, but I don't think they're going to be particularly successful. And a Stormtrooper squad. Yet again, one of the more confusing units in this game. They're not particularly great, especially for the cost. And they seem a little out of place in the game.
One of our generators is under attack.
I mean, they could be very useful for this situation, though they're pretty sturdy and they can go around and capture. Because Nekocool has been behind on capturing the entire game, so that's nice. And the Manticore just chilling back at base, ready to provide support when needed. The Heavy Weapon Squad being forced into retreat by the Plague Champion. However, he himself is getting hosed by this Bane Wolf. Hosed in a very literal sense. The Stormtrooper is forced to retreat by the Chaos Space Marines. And yeah, he chose to go for melee with those. I'm not sure if that was entirely the best choice. Just because the Zench bolters, if I remember correctly, are very powerful, or used to be. I think they may have gotten nerfed. You never know. And is he going to lose another model? I think he will.
Bear forth the blades of chaos.
That's the other thing about Imperial Guard is they don't really have many units that are particularly great at model kills.
Is slipping away.
Noxious Cloud, ooh. Had to run away from that cap point. And he's going Tech 3. And he's getting another Blood Crusher instead of teching up further. I don't know what that Blood Crusher will do for him, but hopefully he doesn't lose it as he lost the first one. currently Plague Champion pushing up. Here we have the Chaos Heretics going on a capture mission. Usually what players will do is they'll take one of their like tier 1 squads, send it on a capture mission, and then focus on actually controlling their units, like here and here, you know, controlling these units, while their capture squad goes around and does its work. And there's the Manticore firing its missiles. Unfortunately, it does not have enough range to hit that. And here comes the Imperial Guardsman squad, completely decked out. Ooh, and up comes the Blood Crusher. Probably going to force a retreat out of the Bane Wolf. We will see. Oh, going straight for the Imperial Guardsman. Look at that. Lost 3 models, 400 hit points. And there goes another model. Just not doing so well there, but as I said earlier, it's okay to get model losses with the Imperial Guardsmen. They are very cheap to reinforce. And you can just keep pulling them back to base and reinforcing, and yeah, very useful in that way. And here comes the Stormtroopers. Very interesting. You can do some very interesting things with them. They can actually get the range of snipers if you have the Lord General as your commander unit. But as noted before, the Inquisitor is the commander unit, and it got taken out by these Chaos Space Marines with the Mark of Khorne. Nico is probably paying attention elsewhere, just because he has a lot on his plate here. The Bane Wolf's almost dead, had to reinforce his guardsmen. Sentinel could use some repair. These guys have to run for their life before the Blood Crusher gets them with the charge. And, set up heavy weapons squad. Just very bad news. That Blood Crusher is going to die. I don't know why he's charging in with that. That thing is just dead, and I really don't agree with this choice to suicide it, per se. I mean, that thing needs to get out of there, but I highly doubt that it will. Oh, and it's getting healed. The Heretics made it in time to make a circle. And they got disrupted. However, the Blood Crusher lives. Call it the commentator's curse, but I seem to be always wrong. The Plague Champion down, the Inquisitor has been resurrected, but is not doing so hot against that same squad of Chaos Space Marines, and it goes down again. Lesson not learned. And here's the Havocs protecting the control point from any harassment by that Bane Wolf. And as you can see, the Stormtroopers got killed in the earlier engagement. Still no resurrection on the Plague Champion. Only 1 generator to this point. Meanwhile, Nekocool is on a full 3 in Tech 3. At this point in time, I think he is saving up requisition to get himself one of his Uber tanks. And he just fired on empty ground there. Must have been a panic response. The Manticore is down. And the Blood Crusher still running around, causing all sorts of damage in the main base. As I said earlier, it has vehicle armor, so all of this is not terribly effective until he can set up his heavy weapons squad, at which point those Blood Crushers need to get out of there. They probably see that and get out as fast as they can. Very interesting thing, though. It's like a mecha armored giant dog with a flaming blade goblin on top of it. I really don't know what to say about it. Let's just pause and look at this model right here, alright? Look at that thing. What the fuck? It has marshmallows on its horns, okay? That is... oh, those are skulls. Well, marshmallow skulls. Close enough. And that was just me being me.
Chaos has the upper hand.
Probably bad commentary form, and these guardsmen are just going straight for the control point. He can feel the squeeze. 105 to 292 control points. Chaos may win, and there comes the Baneblade, 1,000 requisition. As I said earlier, he was saving that up, and he also summoned a squad of Bloodletters that are going to go after this Bane Wolf that was trying to gen harass. And yeah, I don't know. Nico's in a bad place. He lost a Sentinel, now has just these 2 squads, lost his Baneblade, I mean his Bane Wolf, and the Baneblade coming out is not going to be much help to him. It is much better against clumped up groups of units and heavy vehicles than it is against forces like these that are in general very spread out. He has averted capture point death for now. However, that point in the middle is going back to Bodhisattva, who might as well be taking this in a victory point victory. And there we go, the first upgrade on the Inquisitor this entire game. A little late for it, don't you think? But what can you do? I mean, he's been under pressure. And here's the Baneblade. On the Baneblade, you control 2 guns. You control the main tank gun and that mortar. Those are your 2 special abilities, and everything else fires on its own with no control in particular. As you can see, it has a good amount of hit points. It is the Imperial Guard's ultimate quote-unquote unit. And it's pretty slow-ish, but very powerful once it gets going. Lots of machine guns, lasers, and other such items.
We have the advantage.
And there goes the shot. That is the main cannon. And oh, that was the mortar. The mortar, however, missed. And what have we back here? The Chaos Havocs, the only real response that Bodhisattva has. The Bloodletters can also damage that tank, but it is not advisable to get into melee with that thing. It has way too many turrets. But the Baneblade is not something that can stand on its own. It needs support. It needs guardsmen healing it. Heavy weapons and guardsmen still not reinforced at this point in the game. The Inquisitor has only her Inferno pistol. I mean, that would have helped a lot more earlier in the game. And there we go. You can see the Inferno pistol being used there against that squad of Chaos Space Marines.
If that victory point is lost.
And there you can see Bodhisattva is still doing very well on the victory points. 50 left for Nekocool, and all he has is the Baneblade, which also can't capture. I mean, Bodhisattva will outcap him just by virtue of having more units. There he is, setting up his Chaos Havocs, which will be very powerful against that tank, being the anti-vehicle that they are with the last cannon. Bloodletters are pretty low on hit points at this particular point in time. The Chaos Heretics moving in for the final capture point. If they manage to capture this one, those 56 victory points will tick away before you know what happened. And there they are, forming a healing circle.
Chaos has the upper hand.
And there comes the aerial strike. Oh, called in. Called in by Nekocool as an act of desperation. And there's that Baneblade getting caught out of position, exposing its rear armor. What are you doing, man? Oh my god. Oh, are you trying to get it killed? Alright, and here comes Ogryn Squad. Very powerful melee units these guys are. And I can't select them for whatever reason. There we are. Still no upgrades. But they do have their...
Let us augment this tomb.
And yeah, Nekocool's about to lose on a control point victory. That Baneblade, while nice, was not what he needed after losing all of those units. And devastating as it may be, it will not win him the game. Not even close. And there you can see the Inquisitor has her invulnerability bubble up, but was unable to capture, ends up having to retreat. Baneblade, yet again, not being as much of a help as it could be, just because there's not enough supporting it. It is far more of a support vehicle, and here we see the Chaos Dreadnought upgraded with the Claw, and giving it the Blood Rage ability. And that will be very useful against this Baneblade and the Ogryns, both of them really. And yeah, I mean, not really doing much with this thing. I mean, it is keeping this point neutral, but with 18 victory points, 18 victory points, and this one about to get captured by the Chaos Space Marines, who lost both their leader and a squad member. I don't know. And here, back here, the heretics are healing up the rest of his army, and the Baneblade is pushing forward straight into that dreadnought. Oh, and here comes, yep, another Bloodletter squad. And as you can see by the hammer icon, they are very good at taking down armor in melee. So as the Baneblade is retreating, it fires off a mortar shell. And as you can see, it's already down way below half HP. Meanwhile, this Dreadnought is doing just fine, sitting at a very comfortable 533. Oh, and pulls them back into the heavy weapons squad. That Dreadnought, being in Blood Rage, is not controllable. So that is a sad loss, but Bodhisattva doesn't really need to control points here as much as he needs to do other things. However, his Bloodletter and his... Let's pause then. See, can I just rewind that a little bit? No, I don't remember how to rewind. I'm sorry.
The enemy seeks to destroy one of your generators.
So yeah, that Ogren squad managed to take out the Blood Raiders and the other thingamabob. Blood Raider. I don't remember. So anyways, actually, I may be wrong to be harping on this Baneblade. It did its job of pulling that Chaos back, but as I said, it's very good with support, not so great without it. Trying to cap back some points here. I don't know how well that'll work. However, the Chaos is very depleted on his resources. I don't think he can really do particularly much at this point in time, as far as summoning troops goes and such, and he's still Tech 2. Has not bothered to upgrade. However, losing all those troops in such a short span of time and having to reinforce, just very painful. And here comes the tank and Inquisitor to take care of these Bloodletters. They can't really do anything. And yeah, losing that Blood Raider and everything just made this game flip back to Bodhisattva, as I said. You see, that's the thing that I really like about this game, is that there is always an opportunity for comebacks. It's a very fluid, dynamic game, and the victor is constantly changing. For example, at this point in time, the Ogren squad here was trying to prevent a capture on this point. However, the Chaos Space Marines forced them into retreat. 2,000 health points versus 1825. They are actually more powerful. Meanwhile, on this opposite end of the map, the heretics are pushing in towards that point while the Bloodletters are capturing it, and the Baneblade is moving back towards the middle point to try and support these guardsmen. And yeah, this game's just very dynamic because there's the victory points that you have to capture. There's the resource points. And it's not like if you lose a resource point, you're done with the game. You can just keep coming back into it and keep getting knocked out if the other player plays well, getting some havocs, probably take care of some of these heavier units. We will see. The Bloodletters coming under fire. However, they managed to neutralize that point, stopping themselves at 36 points. And this tank cannot fit up there, no matter how hard it may try. So it is stuck at the bottom of the stairs while those Bloodletters peacefully capture... Oh, that was bad. Voice crackage. While those Bloodletters capture that point, and they are probably going to die trying. There we are, retreating, and the Heretic Circle healed them up to prevent them from dying. 67 points left, and the Ogren, unreinforced with 2 members, move in to recapture this point. And as you can see, yep. And here come the guardsmen going through to the middle, supported by the Baneblade. and the heavy weapon squad setting up to prevent the capture, or prevent the decap specifically. And oh, that was a good mortar shot. Slowed those Chaos Space Marines down, stopped them from closing range so fast. The heavies here have to retreat. They don't have a choice. Very close game though. 4 points to 31 on the victory point scale. And I mean, just this game is very action-packed, all over the place. Squads are constantly reinforcing, being built. Lots of special abilities that can be used. Commander unit choice, just everything.
The champion lays broken.
Oh, and he goes down right before the capture. Very painful.
Our domination draws near.
Ooh, Nekocool is gonna win. Good
Defeat
game.
is not the way of chaos.
But yeah, as you see, this is why I like this game over many other RTSs. It is very, very fast-paced. I can hardly keep up in the commentary and probably can't. It flops back, the balance of power flops back and forth all the time. Nekocool is making a Lehman Russ, which is a very good actual tank. That's not just like a support unit like the Baneblade. Slightly weaker, but still very useful, especially if your enemy doesn't have anything to deal with it, like Bodhisattva does not. And yeah. Kamikat signing off. Actually, wait. I'll wait till we get to the score screen. Haha. And yeah, there you go. You can see Bodhisattva's unit score just very bad. He lost a lot of units. I wish there was a time graph or something, because he had that game under wraps early on, and then it all went downhill for him. So that's sad to see, but what can you do? Yet again, we see that same trend that whoever hits Tech 3 first tends to be able to come back and pull a win out from the game. And these have just been 1v1s. If we ever get into 2v2 commentary or 3v3s, you will see this game in its full glory. The amount of action that goes on in 3v3 maps is just ridiculous, and seriously, there is no way you can keep up with it. So yeah, and that's why this game is awesome. Pre-order it and play with me. Yay. So yeah, Kamikat signing off. Thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't, and let me know if you want me to quit commentary, because for all I know, I could suck at it.